This is Twtwtw. I'm Hereward the Woke, part of the Wokers Revolution. I've had a good Christmas watching Danny Dyer crawling around his chair on Michael McIntyre's wheel because he was pretending he was so nervous at losing all the money. He was also pretending to be sick, the devious brainiac Egghead Norman. So, what else happened this week? After work drinks are not against lockdown rules, said Rob this week. How many other countries have governments that are continually on the piss? When they attend interviews and conferences, do they all have hip flasks or bottles of book-fast wine in brown paper packages? When they're in Parliament, do they go off and have a quick gin and tonic while pretending to go to the toilet? Of course they bloody do. A wave of joy, wrote The Guardian this week, because babies can be born from the world's first HIV-positive sperm bank. So you can conceive a baby if you want using HIV sperm. That's the first thing you think about, isn't it, if you're a woman? Where can I get some infected sperm from? And in answer to these women's prayers, they've created a whole bank of the stuff. Well, it is bloody Christmas. Well, it's going to reduce the stigma for the poor old HIV sufferers. What about the bloody baby? I'd soon the moment I was big enough to sit in court. If your mum did this, babies, run like the wind. That old political trooper, Andrew Marr, signed off from the BBC this week with a quote from anchorman Ron Burgundy, whoever he bloody is. I mean Andrew Marr, not Ron Burgundy. As for his lifetime's work, did anyone actually watch the world's ugliest man rip into Tory politicians like a toothless worm? Yet another of the BBC's wonderful politically neutral far-right political staff who has left us defenceless against the National Front and Russia. So that's well done, Mr. Marr, and now you're off to GB News, I expect, to kiss Nigel Farage's arse. And what else has happened in far-right libertarian BBC land? Well, star performer Dan Walker shared the shock moment. He crashed headfirst into a glass door before being rushed to A&E for a brain scan. And he missed Strictly rehearsals. Yet another attempt to get out of a Strictly Come Dancing final. Nice try, but you need to hurt your leg apparently. Dan Walker is a man who has spent his life walking effortlessly through doors he didn't deserve to go through, and now has suddenly crashed into a glass partition after walking through a potted plant placed in front of a pane of glass and avoiding two doors that were actually there. Another lockdown party, eh, Dan? No wonder you don't like Halloween. Stars of yesteryear, Dominic Cummings and Matt Hancock, were revealed to be amongst government staff working in the Downing Street garden during lockdown when the Boris and Carrie cheese and wine photo was taken, as a hunt is launched for the snappy rat who took it from the Treasury window. What other photos are out there? Boris shagging Michael Gove, perhaps? The mind boggles. You can bet there are no photos of them actually doing some bloody work, though. First, Fatty to Freddy. Now the Beano changes Spotty to Scotty to avoid offending modern readers, moaned the woke baiters on the Telegraph. I bet those Telegraph journalists used to bully kids at school, calling them all sorts of names like Specky, Fatty and Skinny, or as they do now, bloody wokes and snowflakes. That innocent dupe, Clarkson's Farm star, Caleb Cooper, confiding with us the heartbreaking reason his Christmas will be strange. All together now? You'd think Caleb would be used to the world of strange by now. You're on bloody planet Jeremy Clark, for God bloody sake. There will be a Christmas tree as Jeremy will slaughter the ancient pine in the upper field and will lean it against the side of his mansion and will hang trespassers and poachers from its branches. Caleb will get a present from him, a small Jeremy Clarkson doll that moans about cancel culture and Brexit that he can stick pins into. whilst Jeremy himself will spend Christmas and Boxing Day as usual, sniffing exhaust fumes in his garage. Also in this strange twilight zone, a man also called Jeremy Clarkson was taken to hospital after slicing his thumb off in a terrifying kitchen drama. I always said that Jeremy was all fingers and thumbs. Well, now he's just all fingers. This week, a Cornish chainsaw burglar stole more than £24,000 worth of jewellery. You get the feeling that the Cornish are a bit heavy-handed, don't you? And have taken the finesse out of being a jewel thief. He's not going to be called Raffles, is he? More likely Jethro, the Emmet killer. One of Kate Middleton's dodgy pals said this week that her sex club is booming with women hunting threesomes. So Harry and William are really missing out, aren't they? It's all a bit seamy though, isn't it? The future Queen of England has a pal who's arranging orgies. Though apparently Prince Andrew has had a lot of experience, hasn't he? Come on, Kate, spill the beans. William must have known this bird. What's he been up to? The Times said this week, levelling up must include slimming down obese Britain. Apparently Northerners are so bloody fat they can't get through the office doors to get back to work. And this is irritating Jacob Rees-Mogg, who has shares in Costa Coffee. Boris thinks that all Northerners need a hoist and 20 firemen to get back to work. You want to look a bit closer to home, Boris? You'd need a flaming steamroller to level you up. This week, Switzerland's Dr. Death, you know, our old friend the suicide pod boffin, is planning to develop an implant that kills you if it's not activated daily. So it's a bit like the AstraZeneca jab, is it? That only lasts 10 months and then you'll have to have another. The vaccine manufacturers are onto a winner. Their stuff wears out after 10 weeks and no one blames them. Ka-ching! It's time to start putting jab shops on the high street. The government are desperate to convince you that they're doing a good job. Just ask Jesus, said Boris. The old fantasist says that getting a COVID booster follows the teaching of Jesus Christ. What Boris is trying to say is, he's Jesus Christ, get a bloody jab or you'll be crucified by Easter. Well, that sounds about right, doesn't it? Those poor old North Koreans had been banned from laughing for an 11-day mourning period. Well, that's a bit like us being told to watch Mrs. Brown's Boys, isn't it? This week, the Queen praised Sophie Wessex at Christmas as the Countess was dubbed Royal Family's Secret Weapon. The Royal Family's Secret Weapon? It used to be Prince Harry after a plate of sprouts. This week, some sullen student was left sick and disgusted after finding kiwi peel in a McDonald's drink. What? Some peel from a kiwi fruit? These snowflakes are getting a bit fussy, aren't they? I'm sure most people would welcome a bit of healthy fruit after a McDonald's meal. Perhaps she was worried about getting too much vitamin C. Me, I'd be more worried about finding a bag of McFries inside my bloody kiwi fruit. Talking about food, the Tories have released a cookbook called Corridors of Flour, and Boris Johnson's recipe screams student, according to the Independent of all people. It's not flour in the corridors of Parliament, you muppets, it's cocaine! Which explains why half the recipes are written by Boris and for hash brownies. More worryingly, we heard that a microchip implanted in your arm could track your COVID vaccine status with just a cell phone scan. Anti-vaxxers have said the government is trying to plant computer chips in your arm, and it appears to be true. The chip will also tell the government who you're going to vote for, and whether you're going to fall out of an hotel window sometime in the next 6 months. On a sad note, rapper Drakeo the Ruler has died after being stabbed in the neck at a Los Angeles festival. Drake and Snoop Dogg lead the tributes as organisers have cancelled an event following the offstage tragedy. There are now only a handful of rappers left alive. Not surprising, as virtually every rap song includes a video full of morons pretending to shoot you with a gun or their fingers, or stab you with a knife. Not a word of criticism of this drug dealer's cultural manual appears in the gutter press. Why? Because they are run by Britain's main gang drug dealers, the National Front. So kids, just say no to the Sun, Telegraph, Star, Express and Mail newspapers. This has been Hereward the Woke. Have a happy new year. Get a booster. Go out and party and infect some of those Norman anti-vaxxer bastards.